Welcome to Jewelry is Your Side Hustle with Sugar Gay Isber. And this is our podcast that's for jewelry makers to talk to their clients and kind of their head and kind of like just get to share with other jewelry makers different things that they're working on and how they got started in their journey and the path of where they want to go. And it's just a friendly, fun space. So today we have Kayla Acevedo. Did I say that correctly? I have another friend who's an Acevedo, so I thought, I got this one. So welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here today. It's going to be great to have you. And please start off by telling us your name, your company's name. I think you're in my area, so you probably hear the thunder roaring like I do right now. And I'll let you just take off. Let's get started.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I read your message and I was just like, this would be so fun to do. Like, it would be such a fun adventure more than anything. My name is Keyla Acevedo, and I am a proud owner of a one-year-old business as of last Saturday. It's called kazafusedjewelry, and we do permanent jewelry. So we customers pick a chain, and then we measure, we cut it, we add anything, any charms or anything special that they want to add to it, and then we weld it together so it becomes an infinite piece without a clasp.
Wow.
So that is the idea of it.
So how do you weld it on then?
So we there's like a little jump ring that we use, and then with a little tungsten pen, we kind of spark it, and then it melts and it stays on.
That's so exciting.
It is fun. It definitely.
How did you start this? Like, and by the way, you're in Round Rock, Texas, correct?
So I am in Leander.
In Leander, which is just right down the road from
Very
here.
close. Yes.
Yeah, so we're neighbors. So anytime you want to come over, you can always come over.
Same.
So congratulations on 1 year.
Thank you.
How's the journey going?
It's been an adventure. It's been an adventure because I am actually a 5th grade teacher. So this is definitely a side hustle.
And what do you teach in your 5th grade class? What is your
language art? So I do reading and writing. Yeah.
You do it bilingually?
Yes. So I do reading and writing at a dual language school, and we do both English and Spanish. So I teach reading in Spanish one day and writing in English, and then the next day we flip-flop.
That's hard. It's hard on the kids too, I'm sure, but they're used to it, I guess. Really important. I'm a day 470 something on Duolingo learning Spanish. So
very nice
in my heart. So don't test me. But I do love learning. And I've been trying my whole life to really conquer Spanish, but it's hard. Like, I feel for the students too, because I know it's hard, it's hard for them, but as 5th graders, it's really important.
It's very awesome how by the time they get to 5th grade, I think that they kind of like discover that being bilingual is a superpower, and how awesome it is that they have 2 languages, but also 2 cultures. Like, they're part of these 2 worlds that they have found a way to merge, and they find a way to belong, So it is powerful. It's so fun. I absolutely have loved being a teacher for the past 11 years now.
Wow. I hope that you really get that message to them about how unique they are and how important they are just for the whole going forward process. My grandkids, which are like little, but they've been in a Spanish immersion since birth, basically. So, it's like they're put right into it. And our family really believes in knowing languages as a huge part of our just being good, like, just because it's good to know another language. Like, seriously, it opens the world to you.
It absolutely does. I think that I see it through, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I moved to the United States when I was 14, and I did not know a lick of English. And like, I probably could say hello and goodbye and maybe pencil, and that was it. So me just being in their shoes and learning the language at such an older, older teenager years that were definitely rebellious and not fun, took a lot from me. I feel like it sheltered me, and it didn't allow me to be my bubbly personality and the dancer and actor that I was back in Puerto Rico. So I hope that in the past 11 years, I've been able to, you know, allow my students to know that this is a stage of their life, and then they'll know both languages and they'll just be able to connect with so many people. And I see it through my own son. Like he's going to be 13 at the end of this month, and we travel. We've done a little traveling here and there, and when we go to Hispanic countries, like just being able to see him interact with people and communicate with people and translate for people, like it's just awesome to see that, for sure.
Well, you have a very big heart, and I definitely know that empathy is one of the most important skills of being a teacher. And certainly from you being right there, it wasn't that long ago that you were in the same boat. I did the reverse. I went to Spain to learn Spanish, not knowing anything, basically.
How
Like,
fun.
well, so that was, and then by the end of my semester, I was like, this is my new address. This is where I want to live. I'm just never coming back to the city. I was like so loving living in Spain. But I do remember, and I think about my grandkids, how hard it is to, reach for a word and you're like, I have no idea. That's why I'm still learning words. I think I learned 10 new words today. So
Very nice.
tracks it for me. But I certainly am, it's a challenge to remember them all. Like it's hard. We should try to do it in Spanish someday. Like
you gotta use it so you can remember.
Vamos a charlar. Okay, now so tell me more about how you got into jewelry, because that's a big jump. You had some downtime somehow or another. I don't know how, but summer off maybe.
I don't know about downtime because I decided to start a business and go back to school and continue to teach. So I don't know that I had the downtime, but I made it happen. So it's okay.
Yes, if we're motivated, we can just get up earlier. It's okay.
Yes. We just add hours to the day. It's okay. However, this started a couple of years ago. I went to one of the little bucket things in my son's and I's, buckets, where we wanted to go to New York City. So I woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to surprise him with tickets to New York City. And I had read online that Catbird, the store that kind of made permanent jewelry famous, is there in New York City. And I was like, I want to go get a bracelet. Like, I really want to go do this. So we finally were able to find the store, and I went inside, and their line was like there was a lot of people waiting, and just the vibe in there was so neat. Like there were people there with that bachelorette parties, birthday parties, and just wanted to go through this experience of having the same bracelet or picking a bracelet and then bonding, right? So then I came back home to Texas, and my sister owns a mobile med spa. And at one of the activities she was at one day, there was a permanent jewelry, two girls that were there. And she calls me and she's like, you've been talking about permanent jewelry since you came back from New York City. Like, I think you should do this. Like, this would be so good for you. And I thought about it for a little while, and I never, ever envisioned myself as a business person, like ever in my life, having my own business. And then I just woke up one day and was like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. And I kind of fell in love with the idea of this roll of chain being cut into different pieces that go to all these people, and the way that we truly are united in this world that, feels so huge, but it's truly so, so little when you really think about it. Like, you get to know all these people as I go to markets and do parties and, book events at little boutiques. I've gotten to know people and their story and how we're all connected in so many ways. So I just truly fell in love with that idea of how we cut this chain and it goes different places, but somehow we continue to be connected. So that's where it started from.
I absolutely love that idea. And we are all connected. We are all connected. And DNA is part of what we're connected to. And jewelry is a huge part of our DNA, because it was one of the very first things. I think it was like they probably figured out some clothes, some shoes, and then the accessories were next.
Let's decorate it.
Like, oh, here we go.
Yes.
I mean, there's just nothing about it. Oh, I've even found like really, really old bone beads at our ranch from when the ancient people were there and had, no metal. They were using stones, sharpening stones to, slowly drill out a bone to create a hole in there so they could string it on some sinew or
Oh,
a
magic.
vine or however it was. I mean, that's ancient for sure. And I even have some samples around here somewhere of the really old, the oldest known beads, which were ostrich beads. And if you've ever tried to break an ostrich egg, you have to get I had to get a tile cutter to cut it because it's so thick and it's so hard. Can you
Wow.
imagine that those people back then, they didn't have metal and yet they were able to snip out little tiny little beads and put a hole in them? Like, we were motivated when we didn't have TV. Like,
Amazing,
seriously.
right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. That is amazing.
So, so wait, so I have a question about your chain. So it's actually soldered on and it's not supposed to come off.
So it's welded on, yes. So
It's
it's not,
welded on.
so it's not supposed to come off. So they don't have a clasp. And I have one of them that has a clasp because my sister and my mom got it for me even a long time before. But so this one has a little clasp on it. But all my other chains are seamless. So there's no ending or
So
beginning.
they have to be like gold because you don't want it to tarnish on you, right?
Yes. So they're gold filled.
Gold filled chain.
Gold filled. So that way they are still good quality and it's
Yeah.
varnish and water resistant and it won't, go ugly on you. I also have sterling silver options for those people that prefer the silver chains. So those are also an option.
Well, I'm so proud of you. Like, seriously, you just got up and got it done. Like, wow, you figured out how to do all this. And I found you because I was invited to an event that I couldn't attend. Really, I think because I was just on LinkedIn as a jewelry person in this area. And then I saw, oh my gosh, you're going to be there. So that's why I reached out to you. I'm like, well, look at you. You did good. You got listed and something on LinkedIn and somebody connected you from LinkedIn. That's pretty good. And now you're going to go. I can't remember what the event is, but it's on a Saturday afternoon. Coming up? Is it coming up?
It is coming up. It is
What is
the
it called?
27th. It's the Girl Flock Party Gala.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't on a Saturday morning. Like,
No, it is on a Saturday
okay.
morning. I think it's 11 to 2.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty fast, but there's a lot of stuff planned. Like, it looked like a really great event.
Yes, those girls are so fun. I got to know them a little bit we've done a few events together and I randomly found them one day and I talked to a couple of them and they're just their spirits and their happiness and it's just they just have this aura of positivity. So you definitely need to come to one of the events one day.
Yeah. Now, when was the next one? I can't remember. What was the date you just said?
April 27th.
April 27th. So in
Yeah.
2 weeks, like 2-ish weeks, this weekends. Okay. Well, I really, I know that y'all are going to do really great. And then, so tell me about, so that's your next place where you're going to be. Tell me about some big challenges that you've had and what's the hard part about being an entrepreneur / teacher / mother / it just keeps going, right? Like, we're a lot of things. We wear a lot of hats.
So many hats.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Let's see. Well, actually, I was going to say my next event is this upcoming weekend. I'm going to be at the I may say this wrong. Burnett,
Texas.
Burnett, Texas, at their Blue Bonnet Festival. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. So that'll be a fun little festival to go to for sure.
Yes, for sure. And the Blue Bonnets are great right now. So
yes, they're so beautiful. I went running earlier today, and I think that they're starting to well, a little bit. Just don't go away yet. Like
I know. Well, maybe this rain will we're having a good little shower right now, so maybe it'll either like smash them down or it'll give them a little bit more life. Did you see the eclipse yesterday, by the way? Did your students get to go outside?
Magical. How cool was that?
I know. The clouds just parted at the right time.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We were all outside with the little glasses on, and it was just cool.
And then it got so dark. It was crazy.
It did, but it kind of like allowed us to reflect a little bit because the kids, they say some funny things, and we were just sitting there for a minute, and like whenever it started after it was complete totality, and then it started to move to the other side. we were talking about how just so little light, like a little bit of the sun came and then it came bright again outside. And like some of the kids were like, well, that's what happens when you're a good person. Sometimes like when you're a good person, you're able to shine. I was like, like how cool is it that just a little bit can reach so many places? And the fact that fifth graders came up with that yesterday, I was like, man,
that is such a magical outcome for that. People that missed it because they're like, we don't get it. It's like, you really missed it. Like you really missed it. It had a lot of significance. And were you able to see like the red on the bottom and the kind of the green on the aura?
It was so cool.
It was so cool.
Very cool.
So are you going to add any, let's just talk about your jewelry some more. Do you do charms at all to go along?
We do. So customers specialize, their chains. We have lots of little different charms. I have little airplanes, I have flowers, I have little bow ties, rainbows, birthstones are a big one, initials. Let's see what else we got on there. I mean, I think that there's a lot of options. A lot of there's horseshoes.
So are they making like charm bracelets or just adding like one to kind of like for the memento of whatever that one is?
Depends on what they want. I think that there's the really neat thing about it is that you can make it whatever you want it to be.
Right.
I recently did a necklace this weekend and she did birthstone initial for her 3 kids.
Yes.
So it was so neat.
Totally a one of a kind for her, and she never has to take it off. So she's always got her memento on her.
It was very cool.
Even the necklaces don't come off.
So I do offer a class because even like for me, for example, I like switching my necklaces around too much.
Right.
So I put a clasp on all of my necklaces. So she put a clasp on her yesterday. But I also have done necklaces that are permanent. So it's neat either way.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Like everybody wears jewelry. Like it's just cool that they do that. I remember the first jewelry show that I got into. It was a big one in New York City, but I didn't even know how to make earrings by then. I was just making like one thing and it was good. So I was like, oh, they just want this one thing. How are your earrings? Are you making earrings too?
I'm not. I wish that I was this talented. Even this right here, like I love them. I love big earrings. But I do not do earrings. Maybe in the future I'll go into that. But we do bracelets, we do anklets, we do necklaces and little rings. So a lot of people, I think that the most special that I've done so far, it's three ladies that were having a baby and their fingers were getting swollen, so their wedding rings didn't fit. And they were like, it's so sad that I can't even wear my rings. And I was like, we can change that. So we measure the finger and then we cut the chain and welded it, and then they were able to roll it on. So even though it's not permanent, it's kind of like a semi-permanent thing. They were able to roll it on and off as needed. So I think those 3 ladies have made the whole. I think rings are the hardest to make for me, and they make it worth it. Like it was just really cool that they were able to have a ring on.
Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah.
That is so cute. Now tell me about, are you running your own website, or how else can people find you? Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh. And you asked me about challenges and then we got into the clips and I completely answered that. So let me tell you about how to find Kaza. We do private events when it comes to like birthday parties, bachelorettes. I did a bar mitzvah once. I think I may have said that wrong.
It's okay.
And then what else? We've done a quinceañera, a baby shower, girls' night in, just like girls get together having some wine and mimosas. We do little private events like that. And then I am mostly at different boutiques. So there is a boutique in Georgetown, Blushing Bell, that I'm often at. There's a boutique in Marble Falls. There is a hair salon, Blow Bar, that I was recently at this weekend, and I've gone there a few times down in San Antonio, call her Little Darling. And so those are some of the boutiques, and I absolutely love going to little boutiques because there's nothing that fills my heart more than being able to buy from small businesses. So it just fills my bucket to be there.
Yes, of course.
The market. So
And aren't we lucky that we live so close to all these places? Like this next weekend, gonna have to go to San Antonio because I have a booth at the Painted Tree, and so you got to constantly like go check on things. And so I get it. It's nice. It's just like an hour drive, like really, maybe a little bit more.
it is
Uh,
nice to be close to everything.
yeah, we're very lucky. And Houston's right there, and Dallas is right there. Like a huge amount of people are right here in our, our little area, which is really, it's very rich. When I actually moved from Canada back to Texas again, I was seventh generation Texas, but there was more people in Texas than there was in all of Canada. So you can imagine the amount of people that we have here. It really it's great for entrepreneurs. Like the world is really our oyster, right?
Yes. And I think that Austin has this spirit of support and supporting the small businesses and the local businesses and just, being there for one another. And that has just made it easier. So the challenges that have been there, which have been many, are nothing compared to the support of the people that live around us. Like it's so neat to experience that.
Now, how are you getting the word out? Because you're doing a lot of great stuff. Are you doing ads on social media? Are you doing like how are people finding out about you? Because
So
people would want to know that.
my best friend has been Instagram. And I think that that's where you can see the most pictures and pictures of the events and pictures of people.
And what's the name of that Instagram?
So it's at Kaza, Kaza, Fuse Jewelry. And that's
Yeah, spell it out. Spell it out. Fuse. So
uh,
spell it out. K-A.
KAZAFUSED and then jewelry.
Yeah.
And then in there I post my upcoming events. I post them on there. And then people can go in there and send me a message if they're interested in doing a private event. And then we also do markets. So the one that I'm going to be at this weekend, I've done lots of markets downtown Austin at the little wineries and breweries and just everywhere that has a little market. I try to be there every once in a while. So that's the best way to get a hold of Kaza.
Well, that's great. Now, did you say you have a friend that's also helping you? What's her name?
Friend.
Oh no, on Instagram you're talking about
My friend is Instagram.
Oh, your friend is Instagram. Yeah, mine too. I get it.
It has gotten the word out there.
I love it how you say that because it does seem like that's, that is such a huge audience, right? Like, oh my gosh. And are you on Facebook too?
I am on Facebook, but for some reason, for the longest time, I thought that they were connected, where if I posted something on Instagram, it would automatically go to Facebook, and it wasn't. So my Facebook looks very sad compared to Instagram.
It's hard to do it all. So you have the little box checked at the bottom, but it's still not going to go post.
Yeah, so now it does, but I guess at that point, I didn't realize that it wasn't checked.
Right. It's okay. Like, it's so hard to do it all. Like,
The
seriously.
challenges, right? The challenges are there. So a
Oh,
few challenges that I've come across. I know that you asked that earlier.
tell me.
My whole career has been education and children and never adults. So that has been interesting to manage. I think that as a business owner, you have to expose yourself. You have to be out there. You have to talk to others, and that has always come really easy when it came to kids, but not always so easy when it came to adults. And I mentioned a little bit of this earlier. Just coming to the States as a teenager kind of put me in this little shell where I wasn't necessarily myself. And even now, having an accent at times, it stops me. It stops me from, saying what I want to say or thinking the right word or translating in my head at times, like, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish here? So that has been a challenge at times, just not, you probably hear my dog going crazy down there. I'm so sorry.
Not really. But I do get that. I don't really hear a big accent on you. Like, it's very, very slight. Like you really conquered English perfectly.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like my R's they still roll every once in a while. I was like,
Put on like a rolled R. You gotta, like, seriously. Yeah,
but it has been a challenge to be able to accomplish that. And when it comes to the world of the business world, learning what an LLC is and learning what an insurance is and when to go do that and where to find inventory and where to find good chains. And unfortunately, there's people out there that don't have the best intentions. So the people that don't sell the good things. And so just always wanting, always getting better at finding the right places and the right people to get, supplies from. That was a challenge. And I feel like it's still a challenge because I want to grow and I want to be better and I want my pieces to be the best they can be. So it continues. I think that's, it's that part of us that never stops growing. And I'm glad that I have that within me, that I want to grow and I want to learn and I want to be better. So just whatever challenge comes across, let's do it. Let's tackle it.
Yeah. So you've been in it for 1 year and you've come really far in 1 year. Where do you want it? Where would you like to like point yourself in a direction? So to say like 4 or 5 years from now, like, where are you? Like, what would that goal be? What would that vision be?
My goodness.
I know it's hard to think, isn't it? But we're safe. It's a safe space. You can dream big. You got to dream it to make it happen. So let's dream big for you.
I think that I have been able to connect a little bit of my education background with the permanent jewelry, and I had the opportunity to train two girls a couple of weeks ago, maybe three weeks ago. And they came over to the house and we did a training and they left here just feeling really good about, knowing how to do what I do. So I am thinking that I will probably continue to do that in the future and kind of like expand Kaza and not and be able to be at different places at the same time, but not just me. So I think that's the goal for now. Just try to get some people feeling confident and feeling good about it, and just getting out there the message of the connectivity between people in the world.
Well, and I teach at Austin Community College. I teach jewelry design, and at the continuing education kind of level, which is the lifetime learners, anybody can teach. Like you could go and you could teach other people there to become permanent jewelers, and then while you're there, you can talk to them about maybe multiplying you. So I mean, it's a win-win for the community because they're learning skills, but then if they even had someone that could if you spied somebody that had talent and potential, then you could handpick them from the group and go, hey, you can come to work for me. Like it's just it's just an interesting thing to think about because since I'm an educator too, and I've also written 2 books and have a TV show and this podcast, etc. But for me, it's all about connecting with those people and sharing the things that I've learned because it's kind of like the matriarch, because of my age, the matriarch of the jewelry making here in the Austin area, because I've been doing it for so long. I think it's really part of my job kind of to pass along things and to teach people and all that kind of stuff. So put that in your pocket and go, oh, maybe I could teach you only have to do it like one night a semester. It's not like it doesn't have to be, and it can just be like 2 or 3 hours. It can just be like 1 hour. Like it can be whatever you make it out to be. So an educator, you're already in that pool that you would be qualified to be able to teach there. But anybody could really teach. You don't have to have a teaching certificate, but I know they would love to have somebody like that. And you'd be teaching, and we'd both be in the jewelry department because I think it's good to have more people.
I think
more the better. Yeah, well, the other thing is that all the ACC employees get 3 free classes per year. So they're incentivized to take classes. And I really, I used to have a lot of ACC employees take my classes. Right now, they seem to be kind of like not very many people are signing up from the school. I think they're just like a little scared of their whatever. I don't know what's going on there, but definitely it's something I really try to promote to other people is think about ACC if you're thinking about a little bit of a side hustle, because you can teach anything. You can teach anything. How to help your 5th grader read. Like that could be a one-night class that you could really like enrich some parents that are really struggling, or like the world is your oyster. So teaching is such a great thing.
I love that.
Because people would like to learn.
Is that you have a book, a show, like
I've been doing this a long time. So that's why, So that's all good. But I really am doing this show so that I I looked for shows to be on and I really couldn't find anything about, jewelry makers, entrepreneurs. And, so this is kind of like something that I really think that has potential of a lot of people joining this conversation, and we all share our knowledge, because why not? Like, there's all different kinds of jewelry out there. Like, I'd never heard of your kind of jewelry until now. I thought it was going to be fused glass because of the name. I was like, oh, look at this. It's like something totally different. And the guest that we had on Monday, she did Katie Kismet, she does fuse jewelry. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, a different take on fused glass, but it has nothing to do with that, which I think is even cooler. So, always be surprised.
That is awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't on Monday that I had her on there. It must have been last Friday, because we didn't do anything during the eclipse, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's really fun. Well, there's a lot of grants out there too. I don't know if you've had time to look into some of the small business things that are available, especially being Latino, especially being a small business person, not a small person, but a small business person. And also, being an entrepreneur, there's definitely a lot of different things in there. So I hope that you'll subscribe to my newsletter, which is on my website, 괚ᴜisber.com. And then we can stay connected. Of course, you can come over anytime. I'm always here. I'm not very far from you, like just zip down 79 or whatever it is, and I'm here. But there's definitely a lot of goodwill here for you, and definitely could, if I could help you in any way, point you towards resources that are, US made resources, something like that. And especially looking out for you now for any gold billed jewelry that I see, because I know that's its own little some stuff. I send things off to be plated, but that's different than what you're doing, because mine's starting off as brass
Yes.
or copper, and then yours has actually got the gold in there. So a little bit different. But
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's
yeah, well, for sure, for sure. And then also, let's see, anything else that you want to talk about? We have a little bit more time. I just would love for you to like say anything to your customers about any new products that you have coming down the line, or some other things. What are you going to do this summer? Because it does get hot here, and those outdoor markets can be really hard. Can you do them when it's summer and you can stand that heat?
I did a Pecan Street Festival last year.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
That was a lot of sweat.
Yeah, because it was
It
also,
hot.
I think it was also raining, or it was
Like,
some extreme. Was it like super hot? Was that what it was? It was something. I was like,
On Saturday it was very hot. It was raining. It was actually, it like stormed on us on Saturday, and then Sunday was just hot. I
yeah.
mean, I just remember it was interesting because people would come to me like, I am so sweaty, like I don't know how you're, like, I got this. We will figure this out. Here is some water. But I think that I prefer the boutiques in the summer for sure.
Yeah, the AC is magical.
Yeah. So that is the plan for the summer. I am getting married in November of next year, so I'm hoping that I'll get to do some wedding planning. I love this summer.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes,
For
so
sure. Have you picked out your dress and all that?
I did. I actually got my dress from a boutique right here in Leander. It's called Lace and Grace, or Grace and Lace. Beautiful, beautiful place with lots of sweet girls. And I met them at a pop-up downtown. So just like, connecting people.
Yes, yes, it
Magical.
works both ways, right? Like, you
So
find something that you like to deal with, then you're going to go with them. So that's nice for you. Nice
very
for
much
them.
so. And I got to do some pop-ups there at their bridal boutique. So I've been there a few times, and it's just an awesome place to be at, and some girls to get to know. So I did get my dress from there this past summer, and sorry, last summer. Yeah, that was last year. So I've had my dress for almost a year now.
Kind of makes sense. It still fits, right?
Oh, we're gonna make sure that it fits. So I'm doing that, and other than that, I hope to be at lots of new boutiques. I'm trying to continue to, create relationships or build relationships and some connections with small business owners around here so that I can offer their clients feminine jewelry, and then they can, you know, bring in some people for me too. So it's just a two-way street always.
Yes. And where are these great entrepreneur skills coming from? Did you grow up in a family where people were entrepreneurs? Because you're doing a great job.
That is funny. I did not. My mom has been a teacher for 28 years. My parents actually live in Qatar, so they're far, far away. We're trying to convince them to come back to the States this summer. And then my dad did a little bit of everything growing up. His big thing is he's a handyman. He can fix anything that you can think of. So I don't know where they came from. They kind of just showed up one day and wanted to stay.
Well, that's quite the thing. And, you know, you must have gotten something from your parents, but who knows? Like, maybe this is just something you've just been like, it's just been a burning desire inside you, and you're now found your product and you're soaring, like, seriously.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just did a TV show for entrepreneurs. It was a game show. It was a reality game show. It'll show on Amazon Prime. It was called The Blocks. And that was a group of 100+ entrepreneurial companies, entrepreneurs that have companies or in different stages of business. It could be beginning to multi-million businesses. And we all did a week of this game show, and it was fabulous. I really learned a lot. And, you know, if we ever get together and have a cup of coffee and, you know, we can like just, you know, talk about in depth some of those things. I can't tell you who won the show or anything like that right now, but it'll come up. But, you know, I'm just saying, like, the world is your oyster, because there are so many, like, this is the time when we're really celebrating small business owners, you know, Etsy and Shopify and all these companies. I would even think the Meta, you know, I think that all these things are really trying to push us and push people to trying to think more of the sustainable, made in the US, small business person. Like, I kind of feel like it's our time. So how do you think about that?
Absolutely. I think that there is whatever it is that's changing the minds of these people, like it's for such a good cause and it's for such a good reason. I think that that little saying of when you buy from a small business owner, like that person does a little happy dance, like it's so true. Like I remember my first sale, which is interesting because I had a pop-up and had no one. My very first pop-up, like nobody came to my table. And it was at this little brewery, and I've been back since and has been very successful now. But it was such a ouch moment. Like I worked so hard to put this together. But regardless of that, like the fact that it has worked out, you know, throughout this year and it has been able to be kept up and it's been so good for me and my family, like, and it's because of all these people that think, let's support our small businesses. Let's make sure that those people are doing the little happy dances and allowing their families to grow and flourish.
I love that. I think that that is very apropos to what we're doing. And I know that when you're out there, people love your bubbly personality and your little kind soul. So that really speaks for itself, that people will want to keep coming and adding to their stack of forever
Yeah.
jewelry. I had a bracelet a long time ago. It was very meaningful to me, and it was gold filled, kind of think of it. And I wore that bracelet for, I don't even know how many years. These bracelets I've had, these are Cartier, but I've had these on now for more than 20 years, never taken them off. So I think it's that set, well, unless you get through a metal detector and then you gotta like somehow or another get them off. What happens to people that do that at airports? How does that work?
It doesn't, you can still go through the airport and it doesn't pop up on the little machine.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
That's one of my biggest questions, actually. Like, what happens when I go to the airport? Like, you have no problem. Like, I've been traveling with some of these for a year, 2 years now, or 3 years since the one in New York City.
Well,
So,
that's probably because of the gold inside them. These bracelets send off this is the Trinity bracelets, but they do send off the metal detectors. And I've been told, oh yeah, you know, they've got real metal in there. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna argue with Cartier. Like, I know they're not solid gold, but they got something in there that keeps making those things go off and I got to like slide them off. And how many times I've almost lost those bracelets because, you're racing through the airport and it's like, oh no, my bracelets run back, and somebody's holding them going, yeah, you almost forgot these. So how sad
Having
that
not
would
very
be.
permanent jewelry.
Yeah, I know. Well, you just get busy and things kind of happen. Okay, so one more little thing about your wedding. I want to hear just a tiny bit more. How did y'all get proposed to? How did you get proposed to?
Oh my gosh. So I actually asked her first.
Oh, that's exciting.
Crazy. I don't know. I think that by now you probably know that I just wake up one day and I'm like, I want to do this. And I'm gonna So that's exactly how it was. I woke up one day and I was kind of writing on my journal, and I have been married before, and I said that I was never going to get married again. And I am really good friends now with my ex-husband, my son's dad. And we have a really good relationship, a good co-parenting and unit relationship. And he loves my fiance, and it's really good and healthy. And I truly just woke up one day and I was like, I never thought that I could have this healthy relationship again in my life or ever in my life. And I never thought about wanting to marry someone again. And then I said, I want to do this. Like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this girl, and which was completely new to me to begin with, and that aspect of it. And I found a ring that I loved, and I thought, she's gonna love this. And I got her family and my family together after 5 years of being together, and I asked her to marry me. So
That is special. I'm so glad that I asked that because that is quite a thing. And so now y'all were going to have a big wedding in November. And if you need me to teach you how to make earrings, I will. Like, come
yeah,
on.
I love that.
We'll have a jewelry making party at Sugar's house.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Make
it's
my own wedding earrings. How
oh
cool would that
yeah, yeah, there
be?
you go. There you go. Like
Take me up on that offer.
I do have millions of pearls. Pearls show up really well in photographs, so more than sparkle. So go for those pearl earrings. If you have a choice, that would be my little one tidbit, of course. But with your
Yeah.
pretty hair, you definitely could use a pearl earring and it would show up, right? Like I don't have any pearls on right now, but that's kind of fun. That's very exciting. Now, where else can people? They really have to see you at a live event, right? To
Yeah.
kind of get it put on.
Yeah, so I don't have a website because of that reason. It has to be
Right.
like an in-person thing. Um, so there's nothing that there's not a place that they can go and buy things online. There's a place where they can go and send me a message, which is Instagram, and then I'll be there.
We love Instagram for that.
Yeah.
It's something I have to get used to checking because sometimes I forget. I kind of forget. And then somebody that I was talking to says, no, let's just do everything right here on Instagram. I'm like, oh, can't you just give me your email address and we could I'm just like, no, that's not how we do it. It's like, okay. I was actually in a class too this past week and I asked somebody for a pin. We needed it for rolling something. And they're like, that's a different generation. We don't carry pins. I'm like, okay, I am now been.
Everything on the phone now. That
I
is fun.
I didn't know there was a time in your life that you could stop carrying pins. Now I can stop carrying a pin. It's just what it is. We all just take pictures of everything or text it all out.
Exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. It's crazy how times have changed, right?
Yeah, times have really changed.
Yeah.
Well, and I just wanted to really open my doors to you. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, please let's get together. And I work from home, so I'm always here, but you're always at school. But you'll be off this summer, maybe
I will. I
going to
will.
some of those events. And this is the time of the year to be applying for those events that are coming in the Christmas time. Are you applying for any of those? Just kind of.
So I have not applied to anything for Christmas yet. I will be doing the Leander Festival on June 1st, downtown Leander in the little square area, which I did their festival in the fall and it was amazing. It's such a great experience. So I have that going, and I have some little other projects in the makings, places that I want to be at. So those will be coming up in the upcoming events pretty soon.
Well, that's great. Well, that's great. Well, I certainly want to give you the last thing just to wrap up and tell your customers one more time where you're going to be next and slowly spell out the name of your Instagram so we can capture it. We'll try to do a title here, right here for you, so that that will also show up. But just so if anybody's listening, they can go to your Instagram, which is?
It's at Kaza, Kaza, fused, FUSED, jewelry, JEWELRY.
Fabulous. Fabulous. And this has been a great little, almost an hour to spend with you and get to know you. I feel like we're friends now. And it's been a wonderful time. And I look forward to coming to one of your events, and maybe I'll get a forever thing to go with my forever thing.
Yes,
We'll
I
change it
love
up.
that. It's such an honor. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've truly enjoyed this time with you and getting to
Really. Thank you. No,
tell you
thank
about my
you.
life.
It's fun to have you. It's fun to meet you, and we're friends forever now. So please reach out to me. You're my friend. So let's just always know that.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and have a lovely evening.
You too. Have a great evening.